Hey dads, have a daughter? Well, then this video is for you. The 3 things that you should be teaching your beautiful daughter is 1, what real love is. True love, right? Isn't that what they hear in the movies? And it's not a kiss. It's still not a kiss, okay? Despite what they believe, you might have to be teaching her. Like I had to teach my own daughter. You know, they're actors. You know, they actually get paid to be that way in a movie. This is an actual movie, honey. So this is not real. So and my daughter wasn't like 5 or 10. She was like a teenager that when I was having to tell her that, you know, that's not real. That is not real. That is not real. I had to tell her that several times and often. And that's what you'll probably have to do with your daughter too. Real love, yeah, is real. Okay, this is how you know it's real, which, you know, and you know, right? You're a dad. You know what real love is because you love your daughter. So that's how you know. How is it that you love her? How is it that you love her mom? Whether you're together or not, because, you know, that still affects her. Whether you're married or not, that's still your daughter. So how is it that you treat her mother? How do you treat her? So all of that is important. All of that matters. So think about that, okay? That influences how your daughter will want to be in a relationship, okay? With the love that she gets from you and the love that you are giving to her mom. So however it is that you are loving her, you know, be intentional about that because that affects her, like seriously, for the rest of her life. The way you love her, Dad, is when she's so confident, let me say it like this, okay? When she's so confident and secure in the way you love her, she will not have to go out searching for love somewhere else, okay? That's one of the reasons why your daughter is out finding someone, out reaching out to someone who will love her. So when she's in that relationship, what does she say? Well, I love him. He loves me, but it's mostly that I love him. And if you're thinking about, you know, even a relationship that she's in right now that maybe you don't like, that you're like, wow, what the heck? What a loser. What do you love about that guy? Because there is nothing good about him. Well, think about the way you are loving her because what is real love? Okay, yeah, it's unconditional. You know, you don't have to work for real love. And that's kind of what she thinks, she's especially in an unhealthy relationship, okay? And she's thinking, oh my gosh, I love him so much. He's so cute. I love him. And he's nice to me. And he's good to me, you know? And it doesn't mean that he's not, okay? But it doesn't really mean that she really does know and understand what real love is, okay? Because it's not just someone giving her attention, all right? So that's number 1, all right? Number 2 is what you should be teaching your daughter, dads, okay, is how to respect herself, okay? Because, hey, we all know, you know, the difference. You can tell when a girl respects herself and you can tell when she does not. So how she respects herself, okay? Think about that. How do you want your daughter to present herself, okay? And of course, you know, you're thinking, oh my gosh, you know, she's wearing those booty shorts and her finer qualities are showing and oh my gosh, you know, my gosh. And all these guys are like trying to hit on her and talk to her and oh my gosh, I just can't stand it. I love how I just recently was talking to a guy who has a teenage daughter and that was what he says. I thought it was so funny. He said, you know, I put my arm around her and I said, you know, when you get married, this is exactly where I'm going to be. Right in the middle of you and that guy because you're my daughter. Man, I love you, you know, like, and that's how you feel, don't you? Oh yeah, dads, you do. You feel like that. It's like, oh man, you know, you wanted to have that daughter. Maybe you didn't. And now you do. And now you're like, oh my gosh, why does she have to be so beautiful? Oh man. You know, because that's real, isn't it? It is real. Why do those guys have to be looking at her like that? So it's a whole different story when it's your daughter. And how does she respect herself? Dad, you got to teach her that, how to respect herself. And teach her in a good way, okay? Not always like that. You better take that off. You can't be wearing that, okay? Yeah, that's true, okay? It's true. And here's the thing too. It doesn't mean you need to buy it for her either, okay? You can say that to the mom. Hey, she doesn't need to be, you don't need to be buying those clothes for her just because she wants those clothes doesn't mean she needs to wear those clothes. That was what I would do, hey, even to my daughters too. Just because they're selling that in the store, it doesn't mean you should be wearing it. So it's a hard reality and sometimes there isn't very many things to be buying them because everything is so tiny. It's like you're a teenager, you shouldn't be wearing clothes that look like they fit your 5-year-old sister. So, you know, you still got to teach her that, okay? You got to teach her how to respect herself, what that looks like. And because when she does not respect herself, what kind of guy is she going to attract? You got to tell her those things, okay? Because you know. And of course, you don't want that to be your daughter. But sometimes, hey, it doesn't mean that it may not be your daughter. Now, I'm not saying your daughter's trashy. I'm not saying any of those things like that. I'm just saying you as the dad, how do you talk to your daughter? How do you show her that you love her? How do you show her what real love is? How are you showing her how to respect herself, okay? So number 3 is something something you definitely need to be teaching your daughter is that her identity is not in a guy or a relationship. This is where you see girls where they will just get into a relationship after relationship after relationship to where she has lost herself. She doesn't know who she is unless she has a boyfriend and unless she's just in this relationship all the time. And it always seems like every guy she likes, let me even say that differently. Every guy she dates, every guy she's with, what does she generally say? But I love him. I love him. And I have to tell you, dads, a girl will give sex to show that guy how much she loves him. That's what she does. So when you're showing her what real love is, how to respect herself, and that her identity is not in this relationship, that is going to help her to understand. Because the more secure she is in your love, then the more secure she is with her own self, her own body, who she is. And then she doesn't need to have that relationship to find out what love is, to where she thinks she has to then have sex in order to have love, that she has to give herself away with then the next guy, because generally a relationship, especially a teen relationship, right, even younger, is not generally going to last until they get married. Hey, sometimes it does, and that's okay too. So I'm just talking in general. So dad, how is it that you're talking to her? How is it that you're showing her love? How is it that you're showing her how to respect herself? How is it that you're showing her what her identity is, okay, and who she is? The things you should be saying to her is how, of course, how beautiful she is, because she is, okay, because she is, not because she looks a certain way, all right? It's because who she is on the inside. If she isn't so beautiful on the inside, then maybe you can help her work through that on the inside of her. Like, is she sweet? Is she caring? Is she just a giving person? Okay? Is she kind? Is she gentle? Just fun and funny? So all those things that she is, you say that to her. Hey, I really like your personality. I really just think, you know, you have such a great personality. You have such a beautiful smile. You know, you'll always be my little girl, because that's true, because she will be. So say those things to her. It's okay to put your arm around her. It's okay for you to hug her. And I know as she gets older and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, the things we used to do was pretty cool. We used to hang out and watch some football and some games, and we just, you know, just hang out. It was just so fun. Now she's a teenager and like, oh man, what do I do now? Okay, she's developed and she's developing into a woman. Like, man, I just don't know how to handle that. You still treat her the same. You still talk to her, you still love on her, you still hug her, you still sit with her, you still watch those football games, okay? Because I know a lot of teen girls that will say this to me. You know, it's like my dad he doesn't want to be with me anymore, because now that I'm a teenager, now that I've grown up a little bit, he doesn't invite me to watch those games with him anymore. He doesn't like want to do those things with me anymore. So keep inviting her, keep telling her. And even if she says no, you know, I don't think so, you know what, she might just kind of slink her little way back in there and sit with you anyway, okay? And you just tell her, hey, come sit right by me, you know, sit by me, put your arm around, say, remember how we used to do this when you were little? You know, you used to sit on my lap, but hey, you know, now you can sit next to me. So don't stop loving her. Don't stop being affectionate to her also, especially. I mean, that's very important. That's very key, because if not, she's going to run off and try to and find that person who will, okay? She has, you know, of course, her phone, right, with her all the time. So it's so easy to find that person who's going to love her like she thinks love is. So dads, when you're teaching her these things, when you're talking to her about these things, when you are helping your daughter, you're actually leading your daughter. So when she does then maybe want to get married and she's going to date then the right person, the right guy, you're going to maybe think, all right, you know what, he's not so bad after all. Because here's the thing too, dads, is you have to remember is your daughter will marry a guy that's pretty close to a lot of the things that you are. I'm not going to say exactly, because there's will probably be some differences, of course, you know, but generally the daughter, she will marry a guy like her dad. That's who she will marry. And we date who we marry, right? We don't just marry people in our culture anyway. So dads, you need to be thinking about that. If you're struggling with this relationship with your daughter, these are some things, these 3 things, okay, will definitely help you, okay? 1 is showing your daughter, teaching your daughter what real love is. 2, teaching your daughter how to respect herself. And then 3 is teaching your daughter that her identity is not in a guy. Okay, because it isn't, and it is not in a relationship. So, hey, if you've gotten value out of this video, definitely hit like. You can definitely share this, and you know what? You probably want to watch this video again and again and again, especially as your daughter's growing up, hitting those teen years, and you know those younger ages. I mean, you're like, oh man, your daughter, and when she's developing, and when guys are paying attention to her, or even this, that your daughter is the aggressor. So, hey, dad, you got to pay attention to that, because when she's the aggressor, okay, a lot of times it's because she's looking for love. She's looking for someone to pay attention to her. When she has to be so loud and obnoxious and just, you know, like where it's like, attention, 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 everybody look at me. And when she's dressing inappropriately, those are things because she wants the attention, because she wants to be noticed, because she's looking for what she thinks is love. So dad, it's so important that you're teaching her that stuff, okay? And what her identity is. So the identity, again, you know, even we've talked about all the stuff already, but you know, keep bringing it back to who she is. You are so sweet. You are so kind. You are so fun to be around. You're smart. You are so strong, you know, in the mental. Hey, maybe she's strong physically too, okay? So those are the things that you just attributes of who she is. That's what you want to be pouring and focusing on into her, okay? And if you have not done those things, and maybe your daughter's even in her 20s, okay, it doesn't mean that it's too late, because this is how you know it's not too late, because she's still around, okay? You may not spend time with her, you may not really see her too much, but you know what? You can send her a message, can't you? You can send her a picture of you and just say, hey, daddy's thinking of you. You know, your dad misses you. Whatever it is that you want to do, but to send something out to your daughter. Just to say, I was thinking about you today, you know, my beautiful daughter, and I just wanted to tell you hi. You know, hope you just have a good day. You know, all of those things, because those things definitely matter. Those things definitely matter to your daughter, really at any age. The fact that you have a female girl daughter, and even your wife for that matter, okay? Your wife, your girlfriend, those things matter to her, because then she feels special. Your daughter feels special, and that's what you want her to feel. You want her to feel so special that so when she finds a guy, okay, and you want her to feel like, wow, you know what, my dad treats me pretty good. And because she's going to compare that to the way her dad treats her and the way this guy treats her. So you want where she's going to be finding this guy, you want the standard to be pretty high, that you have raised the bar for her, okay? Not just any guy that's going to come into her life and just sweep her off her feet and then take her away, and then he ends up treating her like crap. So how is it that you're treating your daughter, all right? So those are the things that you definitely need to be teaching her, because you're teaching her on how to love someone. You're teaching her on how to receive love from someone even, okay? You're showing her where the standard is on how she should be in a relationship when she, you know, actually does maybe want to get married. Does this guy kind of meet the standard? Does this guy hold up to the bar of who dad actually became for her, all right? So I just want to say, you know what? Hey, thanks for watching. There's going to be another video, definitely more videos. So if you haven't watched other videos with this kind of series, whatever it is I'm doing here, okay, keep watching, and there's definitely going to be more to come.